For our presentation, we chose to go with the Great Smoky Mountains.
And this is how the Great Smoky Mountains were formed.
450 to 540 million years ago, big pieces of sediment cemented into layers over the rivers and streams, which they carried huge amounts of sedimentary rocks million years ago.
The Great Smoky Mountains, there are several endangered animals. Some of them are the Smoky Mad Tom and the Indiana bat. The Smoky Mad Tom is based off a species of catfish that only gets to be 2 inches long. During the day, it buries itself under gravel, and at night it eats small fish and aquatic invertebrates.
The Indiana bat is a medium-sized bat with mouse-sized ears. They live in hardwood trees. It eats terrestrial and aquatic insects.
Some common animals that live in the Great Smoky Mountains are the elk and North American river otter.
The elk that lives in Smoky Mountains is one of the North American's largest terrestrial mammals. They eat things like bark, leaves, grass, and plants, and they have big antlers, which they shed each year.
The North American river otter has a thick fur coat that repels water while protecting the otter. It likes to eat fish and small mammals such as mice, squirrels, and birds. One of the common plants that grow in the Great Smoky Mountains is dogwood.
Dogwood's scientific name is cornus.
Dogwood is a tree with untoothed leaves with veins curving distinctively as they approach leaf margins. They naturally grow in wet habitats. Those are cool like that.
The American chestnut is the hardwood tree. It's 30 meters or 98 feet tall. The leaves are 14 to 20 centimeters long. The American chestnut has hairy twig tips. It produces many small green and little white male flowers. It's 6 to 8 inches long.
This is how the Great Smoky Mountains were formed. It was all flat, which they all turned in to a mountain. This is really gooey.
Okay.
Let's get it all around. Which was formed a mountain, which streams and rivers came along the way by sedimentary. The mountains were formed by sedimentary rocks pushed together, which streams and rivers came along. And that's how it was formed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me see them chancla.
In the model that we showed, we kind of forgot to explain what materials we used and
the
what
mountain.
each one represented. We just used flour and water for it. Nothing exciting, really. The flour represented the Earth's crust, and when we pushed it together, it was to show how the mountain first, became a mountain. When we poured the water on it, it was to show how streams and rivers came along the shape that it has today. Streams and rivers cause most of the erosion and deposition because water is a substance, unlike air, and when water moves down a steep surface, it moves pretty fast.
This is the website that we use to find the common plants that grow in Smoky Mountains. This is where we found the information for cornus. This is where we found the information for the North American river otter. Here we found the information for the elk. Here are the websites for the Indiana bat and the Smoky Mad Tom. And this is where we found the information for how the Smoky Mountains were formed.
Thank you for your time.